guys, Raven here. Um, Closed the store tonight, so I am in the car. Bear ran in to make dinner, so I thought I would just record out here because generally it's quite noisy in a small little home, and so it's very difficult to try to find a quiet place when you're trying to record. So, um, I I could say I'm been better. Generally I'm, doing pretty good, but I just I don't know. I just feel a bit off. I've been having a headache for the last week where it's just in my eye and just sort of radiates off like my eyebrow and like around the skull. I think it's a tension headache. I'm not exactly sure. It's happened while I'm working a lot, and it's been happening even when I'm not working. And I'm just not sure if it's allergies or if it's tension or whatever it is, but I'm not a fan of it and I don't really like it. And so if you see me with sort of squinty eyes, that is why it is what it is. So, yeah. I have to say, I went to go see my my new friend Gina, who does reflexology, on Monday night, which is my Friday at work. So I got off work and came home and grabbed changed my clothes and, took a little shower and all that other stuff, and then jotted on over to Gina and saw her. And she's like, how was your week and then what's going on? I explained about the headache, and she made the headache feel better, but now headache is back again. Yay. Not yay. And I was telling her about my woes in customer service. And retail is just, it's full of customer service. There's nothing that you can really do about it. That is just part of the job. And I think that there's others of us that have other jobs where their customers may not be customers as somebody buying a product, but if you work in HR or personnel or any of that other stuff, your customers are your other employees. Another thing, like you're a stay-at-home mom, your customers, quote unquote, are your kids, or that kind of thing, and we're dealing with other people, and their junk and their energy and their stuff is often difficult. I think I am struggling with empath problems. I am an empath. We've done other videos on this stuff, but right now, other people's stuff is really affecting me, to a point where I'm just really have to distance myself from other dramas and things like that, because it affects me a little more than it should. And I allow it to affect me more than it should. And, you get the people that come in and they're grumpy and they're grousy and there's like nothing you can do to make them happy. And it upsets me. It really does upset me, because I do my best that I possibly can at work. And I try to make people happy, and it makes me sad, or, I feel like, why in the world, I'm doing everything I can. Why are you still treating me badly? And the other day I was, my boss, my manager was right there with me, and I had, somebody who was just treating me really badly, and I really didn't deserve it. And if I did deserve it, I would tell you, but this was not one of those cases. And I'm like, why is this affecting me so badly? And I had told Gina all about this, and she's like, she's like, you're an empath and you are a light worker. And I'm like, I am. And she's like, oh yeah. She's like, you are. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting, because my grandmother was a light worker. Bear's grandpa was a light worker. And my cousin is also a light worker as well. So I haven't considered myself light worker, but it's an energy worker. Anywho, she says that it's often that people, I'm like, well, I'm being nice to people. Why are they being mean to me back? And she says it's very often that they are triggered because you're happy or your light is shining and theirs is not. And I'm like, ooh, so it's like haters gonna hate kind of thing. And she's like, yeah. She's like, that's kind of how it is. And she says, but if you are also feeling triggered, you know, look at it as thank you. Like, thank you to the universe that they did trigger you, because that has surfaced, something has surfaced in you that, you know, to cause said trigger that needs to be dealt with. And so you kind of look internally and you're like, okay, why am I being triggered right now? Let's go back to what that feels like and why am I feeling it and what was my earliest memory of it. And so that way you can kind of hold it, you can acknowledge it, and you can try to move past it. And then after you've done that, so this is like little mini shadow works as they come around. Does that make sense? So when we are doing shadow work, you know, lots of people go through shadow work. Sometimes it's an annual event, sometimes semi-annual event, whatever. But generally, there are things that come up and you're like, why am I still dealing with this? You know, you think shadow work is one and done. It's not. You got to keep working at it until, you know, it's gone. It's breaking patterns. And I am trying so hard with this, and I am just being triggered all the time. And my husband just turned on the car. Or there's a ghost here. I don't know. Anyhow, so, yeah. I don't know why the car just turned on. It's kind of crazy. Anyhow, so I'm like, why am I being triggered? Why is this happening? And, you know, this person that I was dealing with, I mean, truth be told, was pretty much displaying energy and attitude and verbiage very similar to my abusive mother. And I think I've shared with you guys this, that I don't talk to my mom. My mother, I haven't spoken to her since, gosh, it's been over 20 years. It's been over 20 years. So she is a very broken and unhealthy individual, and lost custody of me and was extremely physically, verbally, and mentally abusive. And that's why I went into the foster care system. So this person was displaying that kind of junk to me, and I was just immediately like deer in the headlights, kind of like, why are you treating me like this? I'm like, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just trying to give you what you need. And it was, you know, luckily I felt very blessed. I'm very grateful for my manager jumping in, because she defended me in like the best way. She has a way, she has a gift of diffusing, you know, people when they're that way. And for me, since I am not as skilled at diffusing, I will, you know, go for the jugular and mirror back at them what they're doing, and that's not healthy either. So I'm working at trying to get better at this, but I will tell you that retail during the holiday season, I'm not sure what the hell I'm doing and why I decided to do this. So I have some bad days, and today was one of those days, and I didn't even want to pick up the camera and do this video, but then I'm like, there's gotta be a teaching moment in some of this, and let me figure out what the heck that is. Tomorrow we'll do stuff like skincare, because you know what, I'll pull out all the products that I use and I will show you, because there's a lot of people that are like, what the heck is going on with your skin? I guess my skin looks great. I'm glad that you like it. I do what I can to keep myself looking good. So tomorrow we'll have a lighter subject like skincare. I'll show you what I use. So with that, I love and leave you. Many blessings. See you tomorrow.